So friends, we'll be learning one more new concept now. This concept is called as professional skepticism. Earlier, I might have told you something very briefly about this concept. What is professional skepticism? We'll be learning little more detail about this. Please wait a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to share the screen with you. We'll understand what is this professional skepticism. And in every audit situation, auditor is expected to be skeptical. Professionally, is expected to be skeptical, right? This term or the professional skepticism, this refers to an attitude of the auditor, and that attitude includes a questioning mind. That means in a given situation, in a particular situation, auditors should question that situation, why this is happening. A kind of doubtfulness should come to his mind. So it is an attitude that includes questioning mind, being alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatements due to error or fraud. Okay, if a particular condition exists and there is an indication of possible misstatement or possible fraud, then auditor is expected to be alert in that, expected to be alert to those kind of conditions. And in that situation, he has to make a critical assessment of the audit evidence. So various things, various components are there to the concept of professional skepticism. First of all, we have to understand it is an auditor's attitude only. And this attitude includes questioning mind, that auditors should ask why this is happening. Let us say someone is showing you a money receipt, they are saying there is a correction. Or they have used whitener, they use the correction fluid and the figures are changed. So as an auditor, what is expected of you? Will you question why this has happened, or you are not going to question it? What you will do?
So we should question
You
it.
should question, because that is a condition you see, and in that situation you become suspicious. You immediately wanted to know why this correction has happened. So you remain alert to that condition. And why you are alert? Because you are thinking there is a possibility of misstatement or a possibility of fraud. Is it not? Okay. If you find, let us say, a document is written, but the amount parts are written in a different ink. So naturally, one will be suspicious about that thing, because there is a possibility of misstatement and this is a fraud. And in case you feel that there is a possibility of misstatement, then what is expected? That you should make critical assessment of the audit evidence, whether that audit evidence is genuine or not. You are expected to make a critical assessment. You may ask for other confirmations, other supports may be asked for. Okay, and this attitude, that means in a given situation or in a situation where there is a condition which indicate possibility of error and possibility of fraud, then auditor should doubt the audit evidence and accordingly should make critical assessment of that audit evidence. And this attitude is referred to as professional skepticism. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
And throughout audit exercise, auditor is expected to maintain this attitude. Auditor is expected to maintain the attitude of professional skepticism. Okay, normally you should accept everything is fine, but something, let us say, brings a kind of doubt. Certain condition brings a doubt. Then he should be immediately skeptical, right? And auditor should plan and perform his audit with professional skepticism. So let us say he is planning to verify certain things, to vouch certain things. So professional skepticism should be kept in the mind, that in case some indications are there, indication of error, indication of fraud, what kind of program should be adopted. Okay, so plans should be made or audit should be performed, recognize the circumstances that may exist that cause the financial statement to be materially misstated. If he feels there is a condition which indicates there is a possibility of fraud, and because of that fraud, there is a possibility that financial statement may be materially misstated. So auditors should have a plan to address that situation. And at this situation, auditor is expected to be more alert. What can be such situation? There are certain examples here. Let us go by this example. Let us say two audit evidences contradict each other. Two evidences are contradictory. Okay. Right. Client's record says, bank record says that this much of money has been deposited. Let us say it is deposited for TDS. But TDS challan shows different amount. Whether challan is right or bank statement is right. There is a possibility that challan might be false. Because two evidences are contradicting. Is it not? Are you getting? Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If evidences are contradictory, then what auditor has to do? Auditor has to be more careful. Okay, he may extend his audit procedures. He may be more critical. So he may get the bank statement confirmed or get the challan confirmed. Right. Another situation is that maybe information that brings into the question of reliability of the documents and responses to queries to be used as audit evidences. If there is a situation when auditor doubts or auditor feels that the documents or the responses he is getting are not reliable, there is some reason to believe that the evidences on the basis of which auditor is going to form his opinion, these documents are not reliable. So this is another kind of situation when auditor needs to be skeptical. Or there are conditions that may indicate possible fraud. Such conditions are there where indication is that frauds have been or fraud might have been taken place or is going to, maybe fraud may happen, or circumstances that suggest the need for audit procedures in addition to those required by SS, those required by standards on audit. That means circumstances is such that you have to adopt some additional audit procedures, not the normal audit procedures. Okay, this kind of circumstances, auditor is required to be more alert and more critical about audit evidences. Okay, and this situation, auditor needs to maintain professional skepticism. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this maintaining professional skepticism throughout the audit is necessary. Okay, throughout the audit he has to maintain the professional skepticism, because if he maintains professional skepticism, he will be able to reduce the following risk. Following risk means overlooking unusual circumstances. In unusual circumstances, normally he is to be skeptical. Is it not? Let us say every month entire salary bill is about 20 lakh. And 1 month he is finding salary bill 40 lakh. He should be skeptical or not? He should doubt the transaction or not? Monthly entire salary bill is 20 lakh. 1 month he is finding 40 lakh salary bill. As an auditor, should you doubt that situation or not? What do you say?
Yes, sir. We should doubt it.
Yeah. Okay. And if you doubt, you will be more critical. And in this situation, you are not going to overlook the unusual circumstances. That might be due to some unusual circumstances. So you are not going to overlook that situation. So that's the advantage. Okay. Second thing is that it will reduce one more risk, the over generalizing. when drawing conclusions from the audit observations. Okay. So all the transactions may not be general in nature. There might be some exceptional transactions. And if as an auditor you maintain professional skepticism, then all exceptional transactions will be automatically addressed and the risk of generalizing all transactions will be avoided. Then one more risk will be avoided, that is risk of using inappropriate assumptions in determining nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures and evaluating the results thereof. Earlier, I had shown you some audit program. Once again, I will be showing you some other point of time. And this program contains about the nature of audit procedure. That means what procedure we are going to adopt. Let us say you are going to do vouching or you want to do verification. What is the timing? Okay, that means from which time to which time, which period is to be covered, how many days you are going to do, and extent of these audit procedures. That means whether you are going to do it 100% or 50% or 20%. So this is the meaning of nature, timing, and extent of audit procedure that going to be adopted. And there is a possibility that auditor may use some inappropriate assumptions. Okay, auditor may think, no, everything will be all right. And if a person is maintaining professional skepticism, he will be avoiding these inappropriate assumptions. Okay, so possibility of using inappropriate assumptions in determining nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures and evaluating the results of audit procedures can be avoided if professional skepticism is maintained. Okay, and this professional skepticism is necessary to the critical assessment of audit evidence. If you want to critically assess the audit evidences, then it is necessary to maintain professional skepticism. And it includes two things: consideration of sufficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence. Whether audit evidence is sufficient or audit evidence is appropriate or not. That can be taken into consideration if professional skepticism is maintained. When we talk about sufficiency means we are talking about volume or size. Let us say there are 5,000 sales transactions. I want to verify 50 transactions out of that as a sample. Is it sufficient or not? So if someone is professionally skeptical or professional skepticism is maintained, he will consider that whether the sample size is sufficient or not. Or is it appropriate or not? The audit evidence I am going to collect, whether that is appropriate or not. So when I talk about sufficiency, I refer to quantity. When I talk about appropriateness, I refer to quality. So both quality and quantity of audit evidences. So both these factors, quantitative factors and qualitative factors, are considered when professional skepticism is maintained. Did you understand? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Auditor may accept the records and documents as genuine. In normal circumstances, auditor will accept that all records and documents which are produced to him are genuine documents. Okay. Nevertheless, auditor is required to consider the reliability of the information to be used as audit evidence. So auditors, in spite of that, auditor needs to be skeptical and he has to see the information which is provided to him as audit evidence is reliable or not. Okay. And in case he has some doubt or if there is some indication of possible fraud, what is expected of him is that he should investigate further. And he may decide to modify the audit procedure. He may also extend the program. Let us say initially he has thought he will verify 50% of the transaction. He may decide to verify 100% of the transaction. Okay, that is an example when an auditor is deciding to investigate further or even modify the audit procedures. He might have thought that I will do the vouching. Now he is thinking I'll ask for external confirmation. Okay. And in a normal audit situation, auditor is expected to rely on the history of honesty and integrity of entities management. He cannot disregard the past experience of honesty and integrity of entities management. If entity is honest or the management is honest, auditor has to believe that. But that belief does not relieve the auditor from maintaining the attitude of professional skepticism. Auditor believes that the management is honest, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that auditor is relieved of the responsibility of maintaining professional skepticism. In a situation where a normal people will doubt, or where auditor is supposed to doubt that situation, if the auditor has not doubted, and accordingly auditor has not extended the audit program, that means auditor has not maintained professional skepticism. Did you understand this? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, this was the concept of professional skepticism.